Alright guys, we're gonna do a oil change on a 2018 Hyundai Santa Fe. This is long overdue. It's been about 7,000 miles since I got an oil change. I am not happy. So let's dive in it. Alright, this is for a 2018 Hyundai Santa Fe GDI SE. Oil filter is on top, thank God. That is a 27 millimeter bolt. The one I used, it did not work for me. The oil plug is down here. I'll show you that later. It's gonna be a lot easier. Let's jump right in it. First, I'm gonna just drain the oil from underneath. From the oil pan underneath the car, I did not lift the car. I guess I was skinny enough to fit underneath, so I decided not to lift the car. Didn't put it on jacks. Literally just slid right underneath the car, as you can see, and I took it off. It wasn't too hard to take off, which is kind of skeptical. But it was not as hard as one might think. This is my first time changing my oil. As you can see, I do not look like a professional at all. And so yeah, you're just gonna come right back underneath. Probably shouldn't have touched that, but it is what it is. So
Figure's gonna drip.
I got myself a oil can container. I got 10 gallons because Santa Fe takes 6 gallons. Wanted to make sure I had enough extra space for it to go inside the container. So here I'm just trying to find a good spot to put the pan once the oil is freely flowing outside of that little spout. I will warn you guys to just keep turning. Don't be like me. This is a long bolt, so you do have to turn quite a few times. That was me right there loosening it up. Again, it was very easy to loosen up. Let's get a better view, a better angle. So yes, you're gonna feel it kind of get loose, but then it gets tight again. I'm not sure if that was just my bolt or my plug, but that was the case for me. It felt like it was gonna be able to do it by hand for the most part, but then I got caught, so I had to use the socket again. And again, just use the socket until you can't use it anymore. I fast forward a little bit. Did not want you guys to see me struggling with the plug. Like I said, just keep turning. As you can see, I still had to twist. And this filter, the plug I mean, is a 17 millimeter socket. I've seen where people needed an extension bar to get some leverage on it. Mine's again was very easy to come off. I do know that the car was at the dealership the whole time. It was a service vehicle or a shuttle for the dealership. Maybe they were just lazy. I have no idea. But we're almost there. Like I said again, keep twisting. I got my hopes up a little bit too high, too many times. I took it off the socket just to get a worse grip actually. I should have left it on the ratchet so I can have a better grip on it. But it did do the job. And again, this is the best. This is so satisfying. That is the most satisfying part. So we're gonna let this drain out. It took about 10 minutes to completely drain. Well, not completely drain. To be almost bare minimum. So you're still gonna have some drippage, like the little drops that you see right there on the bottom. I did make a mess. Make sure you bring the pan all the way over. As you can see, the mess was quite large. But here I fast forwarded. I am coming back to put the plug back on. I mean, you don't really have to clean it. Obviously, there's gonna be oil on the plug no matter what. But I just wanted to be safe, so I didn't clean it before screwing it back on. So we are going to take it right back off, clean the screw, clean the bolt, clean the little opening. Again, as you see, it's still leaking. It's not gonna stop leaking. So when it's like this is the best time to put it back on. There's not gonna be much oil. Try to do it kind of fast so there wasn't too much oil on the plug. And so then you just tighten it back. Don't tighten it too much. You definitely don't need to tighten it. Probably don't need to tighten it as much as I did. I was just a little skeptical that it was so easy to take off. In all the videos that I've seen on anybody changing doing an oil change on a car, they had to use an extension bar. So I kind of wanted to make mine a little bit tighter than before. Hopefully, it's not too tight to where it starts leaking. I will be checking periodically just to ease my mind. But you do want to kind of just make sure it's snug. I'm pretty sure that the next time I do it, that I can easily take it off again. Again, I was on the floor tightening it, so you just want to just clean that area again. So this way, when you're pouring your oil back in there, or the new oil in there, you can check for leaks. So you want to, I try to get a good flow. I believe they say if you hold it sideways, you get a good consistent flow. I was just trying not to spill it anywhere in the engine besides where I needed to get it into. And again, I'm using 5W30. I'm using Castrol Oil Edge advanced synthetic oil. I am not a big fan of conventional oil. I think the oil is cheap. If I can, do the oil change myself, I will buy. I'm buying the good stuff. It helps the car last a little bit longer. And since I am not on top of the maintenance on this car, since this is my wife's car, that buys me a little bit more time to make an excuse on not to do the oil change. I mean, to buy me more time to do the oil change. So with the 2018 Hyundai Santa Fe, you need 6 quarts of oil. Sadly, this is only 5 quarts, so you need to add 1 more. But again, I'm using Castrol Edge advanced synthetic oil. They didn't have another 1 quart of the 5W30. And so I got the European oil. Hopefully it doesn't do any damage to the car. but we shall see. It has the same velocity. It is just for European cars, for European standards. I will let you know how the engine is after this. I don't think it's gonna be an issue. If there is, I will definitely let you guys know. Um, but you just want to make sure you put all the oil in there, enough oil. Um, you want to check your oil afterwards to make sure you are good to go. Um, Obviously, if it's not full, then you might have a leak. Might need to tighten up the bolt down there. But you can also check down there after you pour all the oil in to see if there's anything leaking. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm just letting it sit, making sure all the oil goes down. Again, you don't want to try not to get oil inside the engine bay. Try to cover it up when you're taking it out of the engine. Just lock it back up. And now we're just gonna double check, make sure that there's no leak on the bottom after we just filled it up with oil. And there's no limit. Let's just try to look at this soft side, the clean side. Nope, there's no oil, so we're good to go.
This right here saved my life. Oh my gosh. 2 point.
All right, and now the oil filter. Guys, this right here, the swivel gripper, this was a lifesaver. The 27mm bolt, I could not get off. If you see in the video, it is ugly. I could not get it off. I had this for my B&W exhaust pipes. I used this to take them off the same way I'm using it to take off the oil filter, and this was 1, 2, 3. I would suggest, for me, I would suggest using that instead of the bolt. That made life so much easier. I spent probably an hour trying to use a socket on that 27mm, and I could not for the life of me get it. So this worked. I will put links in the description below for everything I used. I got most of the supplies from Walmart. It was a little bit cheaper. The swivel gripper, I got that from Amazon way back when. And then the oil filter, I got it from Walmart. Again, just using the Fram CH10855. I believe this one's the XL, extra long life for 10,000 miles. Again, like I said, this is not my car, so I am not fully aware or attentive to it. So I am.
Washer. I didn't use the washer.
I want to try to get the best supplies that I can get for it. The filter comes with a ring for the oil filter cap, and it comes with a washer for the oil plug. I did not have to change out my washer on the plug, so I just discarded that. Again, when you're taking off the oil filter cap, it is gonna have oil on it. It is gonna drip. You see me put down the towel just to protect the engine, make sure there's no oil dropping in the engine, because that is gonna be nasty. I was over here trying to let it drip. I don't know why. I should have just grabbed it and left. I'll be there all day. And so you want to clean the inside of that cap. Remove all the oil. Again, the oil filter itself is going to drip as well, so you want to try to get a cloth for when you pull it out and it doesn't drip all over the engine.
Don't want to get oil anywhere.
And this just pops right out. Give it a little tug, little elbow grease, and it'll come right out. I think I got some drops on the engine. I did clean that later.
So we're gonna clean this.
And yeah, that's it. You take out the oil filter. You switch out the filter. There's a ring on the cap, the O-ring that you have to swap out. This is the old cap. Like I said, I cleaned inside there. If you see on the rings of the cap, that is where we're gonna change the O-ring. We're putting the filter back in. It pops right back in, easy peasy. I did change the O-ring. That one I just used a little screwdriver to kind of pull out and down. Came off easy peasy. Put on a new one quite easily as well. And now just screw it back on. Start by hand. Again, it could be easier with the 27 millimeter socket. As you can see, I tore mine up. It just did not work. It felt like plastic. Well, it is plastic, and so it was too tight. And so I just used the oil filter swivel gripper. Make sure I put it in the locking position, and it felt like some back in the old days using your hand. I wish I would have had a socket to make it a little bit easier, but nonetheless, I got the job done. Putting it back on, the swivel gripper did scratch up the cap. I'm not sure, maybe I tightened it too much, but it did scratch it up a little bit on the sides. Let's see if you can see it. If I pop, no, you can't see it.
All right.
It was only on one end, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, put the cap back on, and we are good to go. Just make sure that there's no oil leaking from the cap. Make sure it's on there tight. And yeah, that's it. Gonna pop this right back on. There's about 4 or 5 little poles that stick out to snap it back in.
I'm never paying
to a
anybody
little
else.
socket on the engine cover.
Do an oil change for me.
And now we're gonna go inside the car, turn the car on, and reset the service interval inside the car. It's quite simple. Once I bypass this, make sure you recycle your oil, please. Go to your AutoZone, Walmart, recycle the oil. We're gonna turn the car on. We're gonna go and reset the service intervals. I have it set for 5,000 miles. And so I'm just gonna turn the car on. And you can see that we are 2,000 miles over our service interval, which is why I need to get this done ASAP. To go reset the service interval, you want to go to that little car icon. You'll see the tire pressure. Hit the arrow down, and then we're gonna hit what I call the return button. We're gonna hold it to reset it. Right there, and back to 5,000 miles we go.